they're going to need a big day again from her.
And it's senior day here in the Edmond Center. Tip one by Eastern Kentucky. That senior day theme been reflected in the starting lineup for Stetson.
Yeah, all 5 of these players, some of those seniors that were celebrated pregame, but also probably Stetson's best starting 5 that they've had throughout the course of the season, so still not too much of a surprise.
Josiana Vaz gets us started with a 3.
Hard to guard, and that's why can take you inside, can shoot the 3. And exactly what Eastern Kentucky wants to do. They're going to take 3s, and they're usually going to make a lot of them.
Leah Sorrentino, solid the last time out in the Hatters' victory. Dished out a season-high 7 assists. Casso looking for Sorrentino, picked off by EKU. Kinley Woods backing out to Vaz. Quick ball movement here from the Colonels. Vaz again for 3. Clean that time. Colonels up 6.
And when Vaz is hitting like that, it could be a long day for the Stetson Hatters defense. They're going to have to get out on the perimeter and make sure they take that away from her. You can't sag off.
Sorrentino near the top of the key. Casso trying to slash in. The handoff to Cameron Thomas. Off in. Give her the bucket. Give her the trip to the line.
Cam Thomas finally started coming out of a cold stretch this game. They're going to need her to start showing up like the normal Cam Thomas. And maybe she's starting off this game and see just him. And if you can't play defense on somebody, why not pick up their first foul early in the game, try and get him in foul trouble, and that's exactly what...
Quick subs for Stetson here as Aaliyah Sorrentino will grab a seat. Eva Bradshaw now in the game, probably making her first appearance as well. That's Kinley Woods on the ball for EKU. Only 2 losses all year in conference play. They clinched a share of the Aries ASUN regular season title with a win today. And Didi Amaka and Dukwe trying to drive in on Bradshaw. And I believe she... And it's on Cameron Thomas.
Bradshaw just a smaller defender, and that's not where the foul is. Thomas trying to help from the corner and get a hand in the cookie jar. Stetson does that a lot. They love to try and get those guards to get their hands in there when the bigs are in the post and when other guards are driving. But sometimes that's a downfall. It can lead to a couple fouls if you don't get that hand on the ball.
Sorrentino now back in the game for Stetson as Bradshaw will take a quick seat. And Dukwe missing the first free throw. 5th-year player from Inkster, Michigan, transferring into the Colonels from Georgia Southwestern, NCAA D2 school. Averaged nearly 20 points a game for them last year. And she's been a valuable 6th woman off the bench for Greg Todd's team.
Been in double figures all year. And picked it up more so in conference play, going from 11 to 13 and a half.
Blocking charge that time. That'll be Taya Cara Angelis.
Stetson needs to be careful. Angelis loves to draw charge. You see here, just didn't quite get there in time. If you're going to set up for the charge and you're not there on time, you're going to get called. Which is one of the best in the entire country at drawing charges. So these 2 Stetson guards have to be careful.
Cam Thomas stripped on the spin attempt to the rim. Eastern Kentucky will control. Angelis to Woods, back to Angelis, looking down low. Kaylani Lindsay, who just subbed in. Her shot no good. Sorrentino with the board.
First possession that Eastern Kentucky does not get points on today, but it was still a good look.
Sorrentino, she's been hot lately from 3, not that time though.
40% on the season, and she loves those top of the key 3s. You don't want to give her too many open looks from there.
Freihoff, leading scorer on this EKU squad, and Dukwe from long range. No, promise Keshi is down for Stetson. Hatters will push, McMillan. Keshi now, top of the key, Rose Casso. And Dukwe on her for the Colonels. Cam Thomas, step back. Yup.
And that's a tough mid-range J from Cam. Hitting the step back, nothing that. It could be a long day for Eastern Kentucky if Cam Thomas is feeling it like that the rest of the way.
Well, I'm sure it was a relief to Hatter Nation to see Cam Thomas finally look like herself a little bit last time out. And Dukeway blocked by Casso. Hatter's the push. McMillan with Keshi in front of her. Off glass, no. Picks up her own board, though. Second attempt, give it to her.
Great job staying with the play. Forced that first shot up, I think, but stayed with it and got the offensive rebound. Puts it back in. All ends the same with a bucket.
Looks like stepped out of bounds is the call. Hatters will get possession here off the turnover. Close on that baseline there, Ben. A little too close, according to the Zebras.
And that's why, as a defensive player, you have to beat the offensive player to the baseline, because then they have nowhere to go. They either have to throw a pass, a wild shot, or frequently stepping out of bounds.
Sorrentino gets the rock from Thomas. She's looking for Keshi down low, whose offensive game has blossomed in her senior year as a hat. And EKU called for the foul there.
You can see what happens when you don't beat the offensive player to the block. You can't quite get there. A lot of hip-to-hip contact, and it draws the foul. Stetson doesn't mind getting it to Promise Keshi down there in that low post. She's been largely automatic from there this year.
Keshi with the little jump hook, no good. Freihofer charged with the foul for EKU, by the way.
I'll take the blame for that miss. Classic commentator's jinx.
Angeles, Woods now, and Dukeway. Lindsay with it, back to Woods. Freihofer three, no. A lot of Colonels can shoot the ball, Ben. Regardless of who's on the floor, there's usually at least 3 or 4 who can nail it from deep. Speaking of that, Cam Thomas, give it to her.
With the 8 points, starting this game just as fast as the last one. Started Thursday night's game, 6 for in the field for 15 points. Similar looking start so far.
Angeles rattles in and out. Casso with the board for Stetson.
We talked about the three-point line coming into this one, and you're already seeing both teams not afraid to shoot shots from deep.
McMillan, quick little jumper on the left side of the paint, and the Hatters are up 5 after beginning the game down 6.
Hatters on an extended 12-1 run. If EKU doesn't get a bucket here, they need to start thinking about using a timeout.
Keshi, she leads the team in steals, almost added to it there. Woods, step back. Lindsay, no, she'll drive it instead. Sorrentino face guarding her, and Lindsay gets the friendly kiss.
A lot of friendly rim bounces from Eastern Kentucky so far, but that's what happens when you have good shooters touch on the ball.
Kalani Lindsay, the junior from Florida. Only Florida player on this Colonels roster. From Wildwood, down low, Keshi slashing in, and she gets friendly kiss from the rim.
And Sorrentino is such an underrated passer. We talked about the 7 assists last game. That was a great action on the weak side for Stetson. Back cut, and your center finds one of your forwards. Oh, that doesn't happen very often.
Woods with the miss, Casso with the board, Hatters pushing McMillan. Off glass, no! But EKU will be charged with the foul here. And we're going to go to break with the Hatters up front. Cam Thomas doing things from deep as she does. start as you like for Eastern Kentucky. Josiana Foz with 2 straight threes. From that point on, though, Ben, it's been a 14-3 Hatters run.
Yeah, Hatters cut down on the turnovers, which if you turn the ball over too much against this Eastern Kentucky team, you're not going to win. But Eastern Kentucky still shooting a lot of threes, barely missing. I don't think you want to rely on Eastern Kentucky missing open threes as a defensive strategy. They've missed a couple so far. But Stetson's defense, I think, also picked up the intensity a little bit to make the offense more difficult for EKU. Mary
McMillan looking for her 5th point here. She gets it. 68% from the charity stripe so far this season. Her purple hair in front of you. Recently picked up her 300th win all time as the head coach at Stetson. Right now trying to get herself another 20-win season. She's not too far away from that. That one rattles in.
And that's how you generate good looks for your offense to try and stop this run. Getting it deep into the paint like that.
Bounce pass, Keshi. Bria, by the way, with 8 20-win seasons as the head hat. Bradshaw bounce pass, Keshi. Sneaks it up, no, gets her on board. Fresh shot clock, Hatters will regroup.
And that's a rare offensive rebound given up by EKU, one of the best teams in the country at defensive rebounding.
Bradshaw, no. Speaking of board, again. Cross-court pass picked off. Angeles for the Colonels, she'll take up. She was looking for Voss, bit too far though. Hatters will take it off the turtle.
Yeah, that's a hard pass for Promise Keshi to complete at that angle across the floor. Thankfully for Stetson, EKU trying to get out on the break, throws it away and get right back to Stetson. Little bit uncharacteristic start from this EKU team, giving up a couple offensive rebounds, a couple turnovers. Usually those are 2 places they really excel.
Promise Keshi, among the best Hatter rebounders, actually. You might not think of it with the way she plays, but she crashes the boards pretty hard. Cam Thomas tied up. Woods gets in there. And I believe they're going to whistle for a foul here instead of a held ball.
We're still, just grabbing a little bit too much contact, trying to force that jump ball, but when you're going for the jump ball, when you make as much contact as there was on that play, the whistle's going to get blown.
Kinley Woods with her 2nd foul of this game, and that makes it now 5 team fouls for the Colonels. So give the Hatters the 2-shot bonus moving forward for the rest of the quarter. Cam Thomas takes advantage. Thomas is among the leaders in the conference in scoring. 2 points last time out. Win over North Florida.
Long scoring is the conference play only. He is not, and actually just last game got passed by Mary McMillan, who, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, is on an incredible hot streak.
14.5 in conference play for McMillan. Thomas at 14.3, should be noted.
I believe it's 2 total points separating them.
Slash play down low. Give the bucket to Freihofer, and she's going to the line too.
Eastern Kentucky starting to find their offensive rhythm now, finding a way to consistently get down into the paint. Beat your man one-on-one. Cut. Great pass there. And that's a big foul as Cameron her first.
Freihofer to complete the 3-point play. Last year a finalist for Conference Freshman of the Year. She's been a player of the week a lot in conference lately, Ben. 12 times, actually, throughout her career. A lot of that has come this year. Casso, McMillan, 3. Yes.
Well, and speaking of Conference Player of the Week, there's your co-conference Player of the Week from last week, McMillan, and making a pretty good bid to win.
Hatters now 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. Vaughn, she's hit 2 already. Not that time. Casso the board for Stetson.
And on the topic of Conference Player of the Weeks, these are the only 2 teams in the A-Sun.
Mary McMillan off glass again.
What a phenomenal shot. That was a high-grade difficulty. These are the only 2 teams that have had multiple players win that award so far this season, so a lot of individual talent on both of these rosters.
Woods to Freihofer. Angeles now to Dupuy. Freihofer again in the corner. That's Woods. Wide open 3. No. Voss over. Both for the board, and Freihofer, second bite at the apple, and EKU takes it.
Freihofer is not the person to leave open from three, even if it is off an offensive rebound.
Cam Thomas trying to go baseline, no. Second attempt from Bothell, who just came in as a sub. Also, that'll be a foul. And that's going to be on Freihofer, actually, her second so far in this. Another trip to the line here for Stetson.
Good defense on the first shot, getting Cam Thomas to miss. And there you see Garcia Escribano-Poto fights for the loose ball on the rebound and then gets hit on the arm as she puts it back up. Arguably, Stetson's biggest key reserve in conference play has been Garcia Escribano-Poto. She has really come on strong. A little bit of a slow start to the season. Really has played well in conference play, and I think is showing glimpses of the player she can be next year when she presumes minutes.
When she has gotten minutes and the ball bench, she's been very effective, shooting at nearly 48% from the floor. And the Hatters today, free throws have been an issue for this team at times, Ben. So far, knock on wood if you're Hatter Nation, it's working.
And last game, that's the only reason why they were so close with UNF. They could not make free throws consistently. McMillan had a 2-for-7 start. Sorrentino had a rough day. There was one point, the third quarter, they went 0 for 6.
Vaz again from three, her third three ball of the quarter.
And I told you Eastern Kentucky loves to shoot the three, and it is keeping them in the game right now. 3 after 3 after 3 from East Kentucky.
They've hit 4 so far this quarter. Vaz has had 3 of them. Casso with it. With 10 on the shot clock now. Puts it up. No. Rebound. Freihofer. About a 3-second differential between game and shot clock. Woods doesn't care. She'll take the bucket. And the Hatters lead by 3 and can sit on the ball for the final shot. So it looks like that's the call from Lynn Bree.
You got to think this ball's going to Cameron Thomas. They have accounted for 21 of the 5 points. Got to think it's a senior.
McMillan on the ball now. Keshi gets the roll off the rim. At the end of the first quarter, a high-scoring affair to start this one off. Hatters with 27, EKU with 20.
Excellent at attacking the rim, drawing contact, getting to the free throw line, making layups, and then when you try and take that away, hitting the 3.
Vaz as well with 9 points, all of those coming from beyond the...
Yeah, we were talking about high scores here, and the guard has more points in the paint, and the forward has 3 threes. Who would have thought? But Vaz has been on fire from deep today.
Tor Epley into the game for Stetson. She's another one who can dial it from deep. Rose Casso now with it off the pass from Keshi. EKU with most of their starting lineup out there. McMillan got caught in the air, tried to give it up, and it's a turnover instead. Rose Casso pokes at it. EKU keeping possession, though. Madison Lewis now in the game for the Colonels. Keshi almost with the steal. Angeles manages to keep it. Freihofer from deep. Keshi with the board for Stetson.
And I'm going to start calling the...
Keshi trying to go up, no. Blocked by Freihofer. Out of bounds and last touched by the Hatters.
And you saw Rose Casso and Promise Keshi's importance on the defensive end, both with deflections. Casso's incredibly important to stop that fast break, and I think with how many deflections you get, as block off back, I think I need to start calling Promise Keshi and Rose Casso the Terror Twins with how many steals and deflections and tips they get.
Lewis one-on-one with Sorrentino. She poked at it. Lewis managing to keep it, not any longer. Epley gets it for Stetson.
Epley, first player to the floor for the ball, and usually the first player there wins it.
Cross-court pass. Epley with some nice hands there again to save the ball.
Mismatch down low here.
Sorrentino looking for a slashing Keshi. Bodies flying all around. Keshi clean through the net.
Keshi loves that mid-range little float shot. She's made it 2 times now in the last couple of possessions. That was a great job of recognizing the double team coming from Sorrentino and dishing it to her teammate.
Hatters up by 7. Spin move. Angela kicks out. 3 ball from Ndukwe. No, the rebound. Vaz. Casso with her hands up. Another miss. Sorrentino gets it for Stetson. Hatters looking to tie their largest lead of the game, and they do with that bucket from McMillan.
Mary McMillan, excellent move off the dribble. I don't know what happened. Mary McMillan has had one-off performances, but I don't know if Mary McMillan in a Stetson uniform has ever had a hot streak scoring the ball like she is currently on.
Voss on the pass from Freihofer. Lewis. Angeles. Lewis again. Open three. Clean as you like. And EKU, their 5th 3-ball in this game, Ben.
It seems like every time Stetson gets a run or Stetson wants to pull away, EKU reminds them they're a pretty good basketball team, and they hit a 3 to kind of stop that quick break that Stetson's trying to get on.
Sorrentino spin move away from Voss. Tie up, and the arrow pointing Stetson's way. You see a trio of subs come in. This EKU team, Ben, starting the year in conference play 12-0. They've had some stumbles recently. Last time out, though, they were bitten by a hot shooting Florida Gulf Coast team.
Well, this Hatters team knows how that feels. They almost got bitten by a hot shooting Florida Gulf Coast team just last week and were able to hold on.
Not to mention only hitting 3 out of 31 three-pointers that game?
32. I think 4 for 32 was the final number in that one.
Absolutely ridiculous cold shooting night for Stetson, yet somehow they won. Woods down low. That's Freihofer double-teamed. Angeles back to Woods. Goes in, off glass and in.
When you overplay for the steal, sometimes it leaves somebody wide open for a drive. That's exactly what happened on that play there.
Cece Dreesen in the game for Stetson, giving McMillan a rest. And Cam Thomas pushed rudely on her way up. And I believe she'll be heading to the line here. Looks like Woods charged.
And you see Cam Thomas just so good at body contact. The arms start down, they get to up, but even if you go straight up, if you get body contact, it's usually going to be a whistle. And right now, to me, Eastern Kentucky's having a hard time stopping Cam Thomas and Mary McMillan, Stetson's backcourt, from those straight line drives to the rim. They're spreading Eastern Kentucky out and driving the ball. It's leading to a lot of fouls and a lot of layups.
Cam Thomas makes it 8 for 8 so far in this game for Stetson from the charity stripe. Her and McMillan have been leading the scoring. Normally, you see Aaliyah Sorrentino in the mix. Yet to score a point, though. She does have 3 boards. And an assist, should be noted. Cam Thomas hits that one. 12 points in the game for her now. McMillan leading all scorers with 13. EKU, as they're wont to do, scoring tends to be a communal effort for them, Ben. 4 players in double figures, another one close to it. Voss misses from deep.
And when you have that many players that can score and make an impact on the game on the offensive end, it's hard to stop all of them, right? So sometimes you either have to hope for an off shooting night, or you have to decide, you know what, we're going to shut these players off and let these players go off. And maybe that's part of Stetson's game plan today.
Casso stripped as she tried to spin her way into the glass. That will be possession for Stetson here on the loose ball.
Stetson currently 9 for 9 from the free throw line. There was, in the third quarter of their game on Thursday night, they started off 0 for 6 and finished just 1 for 7 from the free throw line, and that's what allowed North Florida to get back into it. Far cry from that performance so far today.
Rose Casso out, Aaliyah Sorrentino in for Stetson. Kalani Lindsay also now in the game for the Colonels. Hatters with a 6-point lead. Keshi, who will occasionally pop one from deep. Not that time, though. Thomas. Sorrentino with 10 on the shot clock. Looking for the pass. Bradshaw, she doesn't have much time for 2. Keshi goes up, deflected, and eventually a rebound for Eastern Kentucky. And Duquay not able to keep a handle on that ball, goes out of bounds. And the Hatters benefit from another turnover, 4th of the game for EKU. As McMillan comes back in, Cece Dreesen will have a talking to with Lynn Bria before she sits down.
Yeah, offense was stagnant a little bit there. Going to get the starting point guard back in. Hope to settle offense.
Josiana Voss back in for EKU after she took her 9 points in the Colonels. Freihofer with 8. The Colonels with a win today will clinch at least a share of the ASUN regular season title. Hatters with visions of their own of a top seed for the conference tournament. Sorrentino blocked out of bounds. That will be Stetson ball with 16 on the shot clock.
And the rim protection early on Eastern Kentucky has been fantastic. When Stetson goes down to the post game to try and get Aaliyah Sorrentino or Promise Keshi, their bigs going down low, it feels like Eastern Kentucky's bigs have had an answer every time. A lot of Stetson's paint points coming from the guards so far in this one.
Keshi hands it off to McMillan, and McMillan gets the roll from the win. 15 points for her all.
McMillan pulling out all her tricks with a little hesitation move to the rim that time. Eastern Kentucky comes right back up the floor trying to answer, and that's going to be a travel. Few too many steps on that one.
Yep, Madison Lewis. And prior to that, Aaliyah Sorrentino with a nice strip of vase as she went up for the shot.
And even though the scoring has slowed down just a little bit so far through the middle period of this second quarter, the pace has certainly not. This has been a super fast-paced game, and I don't think either team particularly minds it.
Sorrentino, Bradshaw, she's open. Give it to her! Eva Bradshaw, the senior, with a 3 on senior day. Hatters again leading by 9. It's their largest lead of the contest. But EKU seems to answer that happens. Lewis for the board, and Hatters will have the ball when we come back from the timeout. Trying to make sure they stay within touching distance of a bye seed in the ASUN tournament. Hatters.
Hey, John B. Huh? Don't worry. We got you covered.
What matters most, it's Vic from Insight Credit Union for the win! Safe, secure service without having to bank in person. Insight Credit, better together.
My interest in it to make a difference.
We continue to make selling your home easier and safer than your goals and deter buyers and arrange that match your interest level. Best of all, adapted our methods to a new environment. We at Watson Service and get your home sold. Some way, simple, simply contact Watson Real.
Prior to the game, the Hatters taking the opportunity to give some thanks and some nice parting gifts as well for the seniors who will soon be departing the squad. Mary McMillan, Cam Thomas, Promise Keshi, Rose Casso, Aaliyah Sorrentino, all of them recognized with family and friends alike, Ben.
All special moment is that senior day is for this team, and you want to send your seniors off well. You don't want to lose. They have a tough opponent to try to beat, but currently up 11. on this first place Eastern Kentucky team.
Yeah, and the Colonels, again, they started the conference season 12-0, almost running away with the conference title, but they've since come down to earth a little bit, and the Hatters want to make sure they stay there. Promise Keshi with that little jumper you like her taking, Ben.
I love those little floaters, those turnaround push shots, those little hooks. She's been so good on those this season.
And Dukeway, step back three. No. Position down low by Cam Thomas.
How about your leading scorer guard showing up and grabbing a big person rebound right there?
Hatters with the largest lead of the game, now at 13. Sorrentino has position low on out of bounds. Keep possession.
It's been tough sledding down there for Sorrentino. Just great position. It just goes up, meets Sorrentino at the point, and says, "Get that one out of here."
Keshi. As the Hatters now lead by 13. That's their largest lead of the game. Voss with the strip for EKU. It has been a tough trip through Florida so far for the Colonels. The loss to Gulf Coast last time out. That will help though. Freihofer with the three.
Not the player to leave open. Nobody communicated there. It was still kind of a secondary break situation, and they lost EKU best shooter in the confusion. Can't be given open looks.
Keshi open look. She can hit that shot, Ben, and she does right there.
Yeah, Promise Keshi loves those corner threes, especially when she's wide open. And Promise Keshi now up to 11, and the seniors having a big day today so far for.
Right now, it's all the vet leadership matters. Sorrentino said no. She's not animated on her senior day, Ben.
And this is what we saw last game against North Florida. Aaliyah Sorrentino didn't have her best scoring day, but did do double-digit rebounds, 7 assists, I think 5. And that's what good players do. They find ways to stay involved in the games, even when maybe their scoring isn't there for them. And that's exactly what Sorrentino has done so far today.
One thing to note from their win last time out, Ben, they forced 18 turnovers from the Ospreys. EKU with 6 already in this game. Tie up there. Smart play that time from Altea Cara Angelis. And that will be Colonel's ball.
The problem is when you force turnovers, you can't also be committing turnovers yourself. And credit to Stetson, this Eastern Kentucky team does not turn the ball over. I believe they're leading the league in fewest turnovers per game, but the Stetson team is second, so you expect to see maybe a little bit of security out of both these teams than they've had so far today.
And Dukeway stripped by Bradley. A bounce they're going to stay off of. And Dukeway, that's Hatter's ball. Turnover number 7.
Thomas hasn't scored in a minute. Couple possessions ago, gets a big rebound. That one right there, a smart play. I talk about it all the time. Stetson loves to see their guards try and get those steals and deflections. She helps in from off the corner of shooter and bounces it out of bounds off the EKU player for a turnover.
Keshi, McMillan, Thomas. McMillan trying to pass that to Sorrentino. It ends up being thrown away. But to get back to my point, Ben, those 3 senior guards I mentioned, Thomas, Keshi, McMillan, all of them with double-digit points right now. Both of the only other Hatter who's even scored in this game for Stetson.
Well, Ava Bradshaw, another senior leader, has a 3-pointer as well, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Yes, she does.
Yeah. But
Correct.
That's still only 5 of Stetson's 43 points, which means 38 are coming from those. Much contact there. You got to be careful. A lot of people say I went straight up, but you try to block the shot somebody's arm first, and then you put the arms up. Your default reaction should be arms up and get tall, not what happened on that play.
Angelis with the free throw there for the Colonels. She is one of their better shooters from the charity stripe on the year, nearly 81%. As that goes through, foul on that play, charged to Sorrentino, by the way, her first. As the Hatters' lead is now cut to 12. Outside of that 6-0 burst to start this game, Hatters have been in front. Voss with the strip of Sorrentino. They'll push it. Freihofer looking for Angelis. Back to Freihofer. Tries to go up, no good. Sorrentino pulls it for Stetson. McMillan to Bradshaw. Oh, that was deflected a little bit by Freihofer. Hatters keep the ball, though. Cam Thomas, 3. Oh, that looked good coming off the hand, Ben, but it didn't go down.
Yeah, definitely looking for her shot right now.
And Dukeway. Thomas trying to force her baseline. She'll get a free throw instead. 2 of them, actually. Cam Thomas will be charged here with her first foul of the game.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mismatch down in the paint. As you can see, Cameron Thomas gets pushed off of the ball, backs up, and then when she tries to re-engage, takes away the landing space. Good call by the officials. And that's good basketball. When you realize you have a mismatch, you have to take advantage of it.
Maka getting the start today, Ben. Normally, she's their 6th woman off the bench, and one of the best in the conference to boot for Greg Todd, who's now in his 5th season in charge. The former colonel himself, graduating from the school in 1983, and all he's done is make a name for himself as the transfer coach. Not a bad moniker, I suppose, with today's state of college basketball, as Cam Thomas will grab a seat.
I think it's a positive moniker, especially with how much some of these mid-major programs are rated by the big programs at the end of the season. If you can be good in the transfer portal, you're usually going to have yourself a good team.
Bradshaw now in the game for Stetson. She has the ball off the handoff from Sorrentino. She'll slash in left-handed, up and in.
Great job of recognizing by Bradshaw. She had space off of the screen there and gets all the way down into the paint. Stetson has had so much success spreading this EKU team out, setting a screen for a guard and getting into the paint.
Shot clock and game clock essentially even right now. EKU looks like they're going to settle for the final shot. Hatters leading by 13. Can the Colonels cut it? Voss, the drive on Keshi. Bounce pass into the corner. Freihofer. No. Rebound, McMillan. And that is halftime here at the Edmond Center. And so far, it's the seniors leading the way on senior day. All but that they should be able to get there at least somewhat comfortably.
Yeah, but you want to get it now, and you don't want to share. You want the whole thing to your. Obviously, Bellarmine not having the season they hoped with a lot of injuries, down the 4 scholarship players. But the Eastern Kentucky team wants it to themselves, and they can do that with 2 wins.
Mary McMillan trying to go under the rim, pokes that away, and that will go out of bounds. EKU will take possession from the baseline. One thing we do want to note here, Promise Keshi with 11 points so far in this game. She's only 3 off her career high, Ben.
Yeah, one more of those stretches that she had in that second quarter, and she'll be there easy. What a time this, if it happens, to set your career high on your senior night.
Voss with some nice movement near the baseline. The bucket's no good. Hatters fouled her on the way up. She's going to the line. And I believe that's on Sorrentino.
I think that's on Casa there. She's trying to come across and defend the shot. Yeah, just try and get to the shot. Way too much contact, puts a shoulder into the head. The call for the officials. You love the effort. And that's sometimes one criticism I have of Casso and Keshi. They create a lot of steals, deflections, and blocks, but sometimes I think they can be a little bit over-aggressive. And as the team's 2 best defenders, when they get in foul trouble, it hurts.
It is on Casso indeed. Her first. Voss with the free throw attempts, and the Hatters now lead by 11. Slash play, Keshi with her bucket. Give her 13.
And that's a smart pass by Sorrentino and an even better cut by Promise Keshi. Freihofer got caught looking at the ball, and Keshi cuts to the rim for the easy bucket.
And Keshi gets the long board off the missed 3 from Ndukwe. Keshi now second amongst all Hatters scoring with 13. McMillan leading with 15. Cam Thomas with 12. Eva Bradshaw, another senior, with 5 of her own. Thomas for 3. Short. Long rebound in Ndukwe. And the Colonels will push here. Angeles kicks back out. Freihofer now in Ndukwe. Angeles stepping back beyond the 3-point line. Now Woods has it. Looking for Voss. Sorrentino got in the way of that. And the Hatters will take it up. Keshi to McMillan. Casso in the corner. Hatters rotate this around the arc. Thomas now with it. Sorrentino, she loves that top of the key three, and that's why.
Don't leave her open from that 40% three-point shooter from her favorite spot on the floor. You can't leave her that open. You can't go under ball screens against Sorrentino. She is not your typical center.
And you also can't kick it off. It's out of bounds. Fortunately by Stetson.
You see there a dribble handoff between Cameron Thomas and Aaliyah Sorrentino, and Eastern Kentucky just doesn't communicate.
And by the way, that's Sorrentino's first bucket of the game. Scored by, once again, another senior. On senior day, Angeles short on the little floater. Keshi with the rebound. She's now got 8 in the game. She's in potential double-double territory, Ben. Promise Keshi, the Italian, maybe having her finest performance as a Stetson Hatter right now. Mary McMillan looking to drive in. Poked away by Vaz, I believe, out of bounds. Josiana Vaz, one of the reasons EKU is still within striking distance right now. The graduate from Cape Verde, island nation off the coast of Africa. McMillan getting by Angeles. Casso looking to push in. Puts it up. Short. Vaz with the rebound. Woods now with it. And she finds herself an easy two.
I think Eastern Kentucky needs to try and get out in transition more. They've seen out of sorts outside of that three-point shot offensively. That was a good job of getting it in transition, and it's hard for a center to guard a guard in transition like that.
Leah Sorrentino wants to hand off with McMillan. Hatters up 14. McMillan, Sorrentino. Not that time, short, Thomas, rebound, blast, and in. 14 points for her, Ben.
It all seems like Cameron Thomas has 1 or 2 offensive rebounds in her a game, and they usually lead to a bucket.
And Dukeway missing the first, trying to go up on the second. And that will be a foul, and that'll be on Promise Keshi. That's her first of the game, Ben.
Good job to stick with it. Gets blocked the first time, comes back down. And I don't know about that. That looked like it was a lot of ball, at least from that angle.
Yeah, I think she was thinking that to herself there too as she stands near the paint. First free throw from Ndukwe misses. Now 2 for 5 from the free throw line today is Ndidi Amaka Ndukwe, or Ndidi short, as she's known on the team. That time she hits it. EKU trailing by double digits though, as the Hatters, outside of that early start, have been in control throughout against the leaders in the A-Sun Conference. Sorrentino down low, Keshi puts it up. No, rebound, long one to Woods. Kinley Woods trying to go coast to coast. Misses. Angeles with the board. EKU will reset here. Voss 3. She misses. Sorrentino gathers it for Stetson.
EKU starting to get into danger territory. They're still shooting a lot of those same threes, and they're not bad looks, but they're not going in. And if they keep on not going in, you're going to have to find something else to do offensively to have success.
Bounce pass from McMillan to Sorrentino, and out back to McMillan. She's open. Misses. The rebound to EKU. Altia Kara Angeles pushes it up, and Dukeway finishes it.
And that's an easy way to get points right there when your offense is struggling. Get out in transition and run, especially when you saw 3 Hatters down near the out-of-bounds line on the other end of the floor, and you knew you had numbers going back.
Sorrentino off the bounce pass to Keshi. Thomas from deep, no. EKU again trying to find some easy points. They'll back it up. Steal, Keshi, and this is how she gets her career high.
And I don't think it could have possibly been on a more Promise Keshi style play than that. She does that so many times a game, and so many times this season, just reads the pass and picks it off for an easy fast break layup.
That bucket wouldn't have counted even when. By the way, that's first steal of the game. And she leads it.
just reads the pass, the execution. Promise Keshi, new career high.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. There it is again, Lamine Yamal. Sensational from Mbappe. With deadly efficiency. What a finish. There's a stupendous goal. Very big argument that he is the best player on the planet.
And on senior day, I suppose it's only natural that a senior will get the accolades, Ben. We probably would have thought Mary McMillan or Cam Thomas at the start of this game, but it's been Keshi who's covering today.
93rd career game in a Hatter uniform, and she's been known as a defensive ace. And yeah, sometimes she gets to double-digit scoring or double-digit rebounds, but today, new career high with 15 points and 1 rebound away from her first double-double. She's putting it all together on senior night. What a better time than right now.
And the seniors have absolutely been showing out for the Hatters today. All but one has yet to score, that being Rose Casso, as EKU tries to find something inside, that being Kalani Lindsay, but she gets fouled on the way up.
Yeah, you can see just sneaks her way through 2 defenders, didn't seal it off, and I guess it's kind of a whichever one you want to call it on, you can call it on with that one. You have to move your feet on defense. You can't try and come over with the arms.
And Lindsay missing that first free throw. Her first attempt of the day for the junior from Wildwood, Florida. The only Sunshine State native on this EKU roster. One of 5 returning players from a year ago. Hatters now up 14.
And that moves Eastern Kentucky to just 8 for 13 line. That's somewhere they usually excel this season, shooting around 75%. The Hatters, on the other hand, usually struggle there, and they're 9 for 9. Difference from there today.
Kick ball, the call on the inbound pass. Colonel, so the Hatters will keep possession here. With 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Soaring affair in the first quarter. It's blowing away their averages in that particular quarter. As he's going to step back. Thomas now back in. Also checking in. McMillan over the shoulder grab. Hey, she might be able to play football with a grab like that.
Certainly.
Cam Thomas positioning herself in the free throw line. On the shot clock, McMillan trying to drive in. That's blocked. Freihofer from the Colonels. Woods, Kinley Woods up and in.
A lot has been said today about these Stetson leaders and these Stetson players. Freihofer having a pretty good game. Getting a block and then an outlet pass for a bucket and an assist right after. Freihofer to A-Sun Player of the Week awards and trying to put her in this A-Sun Player of the Year race. Seems pretty tight.
Cam Thomas, that's blocked by Freihofer. And it goes out of bounds, last touch by Thomas. So that's a turnover for Stetson, and that is their 11th in this game, Ben.
Eastern Kentucky bringing the rim protection. We were talking in the first half about how Mary McMillan and Cam Thomas were doing a great job of getting the rim uncontested. And now you're seeing EKU being able to slide over, stay with them, and get blocks. And Stetson might have to start rethinking offensive strategy if Eastern Kentucky keeps it up.
Kinley Woods off the pass from Angelus. Now Angelus has it. The graduate from Australia. Old Dominion transfer trying to pass that inside to Lindsay. That's poked away by Sorrentino. McMillan will back this up. Promise Keshi. 1 rebound off her first double-double as a Hatter. She already has a career high in points. Sorrentino wants to hand off to Thomas. Thomas, no. Freihofer with the defense. Lindsay with the board for EKU. Angelus trying to push. Goes to ground. And she'll also go to the free throw line.
Eastern starting to pick up shot here. A little bit too much low here. Keeps the hands off, but when you make contact with the body, it doesn't matter if your hands are clear. And you see that being a complaint. Great job at drawing the foul and contact from Angeles there. And
Angeles missing the free throw. Now 1 for 3 on the day. EKU 8 for 14 from the charity stripe. Hatters a perfect 9 for 9. Kind of an inverse from what we saw last time out for the Hatters, Ben, where they struggled mightily from the free throw line against the Ospreys. Still found a way to win, though. But it definitely was despite the free throw shooting.
Yeah, and interesting thing to note here, when Stetson went on their original run, they were getting a lot of free throw opportunities.
Keshi throws that away. Lead pass, Woods. Misses the bunny. Angeles there. Shuttle misses. Cam Thomas trying to corral it. Angeles managing to poke it away. Hustle plays all the way around, Ben.
Yeah, and that is a pillar for Eastern Kentucky. A great defensive play, get the steal, and you get multiple cracks out of layup. And you can see there, I think Angeles falls out of bounds there.
She does. So that's why.
Bunnies there, 2 easy shots. You're getting stops, you have the momentum, you have to make those shots. They are momentum killers when you miss them.
McMillan at the handoff from Sorrentino. Give and go. Sorrentino not able to corral it. And it's Kinley Woods who does for the Colonels. Little lucky that wasn't called to travel. It is indeed called to travel. A bit late. And that will be Hatters ball for the baseline.
I think they missed it. You see palming the ball 2 steps, and then that's about 4 or 5 after she picks it up.
You actually could call for traveling twice on that play. It was probably the second. Either way, it ends up being Hatters ball as they lead by 11.
Eastern Kentucky doing the important part in getting the defensive stops.
Keshi looking for Sorrentino down low. Lindsay getting in the way. She also gets the whistle.
And Stetson hasn't scored in over 3 minutes now, and this would have been a very opportune time for Eastern Kentucky to come back, but they're turning the ball over, missing some layups, and that's the stuff that can't happen when you're trying to mount a big comeback.
About a minute remaining, third quarter. Hatters comfortably in front. Promise Keshi. Tied up. Angeles. She's made a habit of that in this game, Ben. And I think it's getting a little bit chippy between both sides right now. Hatters taking a bit of exception to all the held ball stuff that EKU is doing, but it's working for the Colonels.
You see Promise Keshi trying to turn and get that little hook, baby hook shot, and Angeles reads it from a mile away and just gets the tie up. Promise Keshi having a good scoring day, but also probably not used to handling the ball as much as she has today, especially in the third quarter.
She tends to do her best work off ball, especially when it comes to scoring, that's for sure. She's shown that in her career. Voss, kick out, Woods. Angeles with 40 on the clock here in the third quarter. The miss, rebound, Eva Bradshaw.
And that's a tough shot. Trying to scoop it in from that far away with your body moving away from the rim is a very difficult shot to make. You could probably get a better look at that situation.
About a 7-second differential between game and shot clock. And McMillan knows that they're going to take their time here. 10 now on the shot clock. The Bradshaw. Hatters need to get something up quickly. But I don't think Sorrentino recognizes it. McMillan does not get it up in time. And that is a shot clock violation.
I think Stetson missed Mary McMillan on a backdoor cut off of some of that action, and then after that they never got a good look again.
Voss puts up the 3, gets it, contested. Eva Bradshaw in her face, and EKU makes this a single-digit lead for Stetson as we wrap up a play.
Just not tall enough. The forward there.
Does what she does. 17 points, now leading the Hatters.
And that looked a lot more like the first half. Mary McMillan, where she was getting into the paint, getting to the bucket, and scoring.
Voss who's been the leader for EKU in the points category today, draws the harm, and a trip to the line. Sorrentino called for the foul, her second of the game.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was see, Rose Casso was in position, and I think you saw right there, Sorrentino's right onside. Good catch by the official, and again, that's a foul. Sorrentino, you already have a teammate in position to make that play. You don't need to try and do anything extra.
Voss hits the second, now 16 points for her. Only Mary McMillan with more. Freihofer also in double digits for the Colonels with 11.
And one thing that has flipped big time is defending without fouling. There was one point where Stetson had shot 9 free throws to Eastern Kentucky's 3 free throws. Since then, Eastern Kentucky has gotten the last 14 free throws, Masad.
Step back jumper for Cam Thomas, hits it.
And then Cam Thomas, I guess, is suggesting to me, we don't need to shoot free throws because we can just make mid-range jumpers, and it works out. But Stetson has not shot a free throw since early on in the second quarter, so a very good defensive adjustment from Eastern Kentucky.
And Voss, another miss close to the glass, and the Hatters trying to stretch this lead. Keshi from the pass from Thomas. McMillan will gather now. Hatters leading by 10. It has been a double-digit lead for the green and white for most of this game. EKU hasn't led since early in the first quarter. McMillan losing the handle. Woods getting in the way. Voss the push up here for EKU. Angeles, the Freihofer. Rose Casso on her. Bounce pass into the corner. Angeles. Freihofer. Back to Angeles. Can she keep it in? Yes. The movement from EKU. Foul on the way up. And that's going to be offensive.
Over the back on the rebound. Good job of getting position and forcing the defender to the top. And you can see right there, elbow kind of in the back of Sorrentino's head, going over her, drawing the foul.
That was Lindsay, by the way. Entry pass from Sorrentino. She was looking for Rose Casso. Didn't get her. By the way, should note this. Rose Casso is the only player recognized before the game today on Senior Day who has yet to score for Stetson. Everybody else has. So you know, Ben, that at some point the Hatters are going to try to find a way to give her a shot to get on the scoreboard.
Averaging almost 8 points a game this season.
Sorrentino with the deflection. Lindsay still keeps the ball though. Voss, this time she gets it up off the glass. And the lead is now down to 8 for the Hatters. EKU all game long. They've been bullying their way inside, Ben.
Especially in the second half. I think that's why you've seen the free throw number go up, and you've seen them start to catch up and point in the paint.
Keshi in the corner. Whatever the game. Lead pass, Voss. She'll take it herself. Offensive foul. Mary McMillan. She might have ice back after that, Ben.
Yeah, a big size disadvantage. You can see McMillan is there. McMillan was there for a while, and that's just not a smart play. Yes, you have a player on you, but you have a 2-on-1 fast break. Yes, Costa was trailing, but you have to give that up. But there's no excuse on the fast break to see a smaller defender down in the paint and just put your shoulder down. You know what's going to happen in that situation. Good job by McMillan getting there and drawing the charge.
Cam Thomas off the handoff from Sorrentino. Lindsay showing off after knocking that one out of bounds.
And got up pretty high on that block. Preseason A-Sun Player of the Year. You're not scoring over top of me.
Cam Thomas with 16 points. Mary McMillan, Keshi with 50. It has been a senior day on Senior Day. Keshi with a career high already in points. And she'll add to it.
And Eastern Kentucky doesn't seem like they were prepared or ready for Promise Keshi to start being a primary ball handler and score in this one.
Voss, 3, no good. EKU, when they have stayed within striking distance, it's been a combination of the 3, Ben, and also fast break points. They have 11 in this game.
really picked up the rate at which they hit the free throw line, which is in part because they're getting the ball into the paint.
Tino stripped. I think she got hit in the face. No call, though, as EKU pushes it up. Voss, Keshi tied her up. I believe she'll be called for the foul, and Sorrentino might need a trip to the bench here. She clearly has something going on. For right now, she's going to stay in. The foul is up. Let's see what happened here, Ben. Looks like more the ball hit her in the face when Angelus tipped it up, tapped it away.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, especially from that angle. Ball.
Eva Bradshaw about to check in for Stetson. This might be for Sorrentino. That's a normal sub for them, and it is. So Aaliyah's gonna get looked at here, I think. In the meantime, Hatters going with a smaller lineup.
Yeah, this is a lineup Stetson has run out quite a bit today. Though my main concern, while it's faster and really causes havoc defensively, nearly as good read, the Eastern Kentucky start to assert their will on the boards.
Vaz, cross-court Woods, Angelus. Bradshaw trying to get the ball. Freihofer, EKU with great movement. That basket won't count anyway because it's another offensive foul. Esau that time with the charge call.
Well, the story of the seniors, and this is just a senior making a smart play, seeing the drive coming, sliding over, getting it. That's smart defensive play, reading what the offense do and getting in position to stop it. What else can we say about these Stetson seniors?
Hatters up 10.
Another day, same pain, same meds, same struggling symptom relief. Injections like Humira and Enbrel work similarly to treat moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. But if your symptoms haven't improved enough, Rinvoq works differently. It's a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve RA and PSA joint pain, stiffness, and swelling, as fast as 2 weeks for some. Even after 3 years, many people felt this relief. In PSA, Rinvoq can leave skin noticeably clearer.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events, infections, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Do something different. Ask your doctor if switching to Rinvoq is right for you.
We're still on career watch for Promise Keshi. 17 points for her. That is her most as a Hatter, Ben. She's at 9. She needs one more to get her first career double-double. And as the Hatters lead by 10, do want to make note of a few games underway already with some big conference implications. West Georgia leading UCA early. JU up by 5 over FGCU in an all-Florida showdown. As that ball is turned over, and EKU tries to craft their way back into this game. They still have a chance to win at least a share of the ASUN title if they can find a way to come back and win this.
Turnovers really starting to become a problem for Stetson now.
Down low, Voss. The feed from Freihofer, and too much for Promise Keshi. Hatters lead by 8.
Promise Keshi's an excellent defender both in the paint and on the perimeter, but she's given up some size in that battle, and you could see it take effect right there. Just nudges Keshi out of the way and gets right to the rim.
And that's why you see Aaliyah Sorrentino sitting near the scorer's table about to come in. Promise Keshi trying to spin her way in. Poked away by Lindsay. It's another turnover. EKU maybe finding their way back into this one. Long court pass, Lindsay. Voss, she's been deadly from 3. Not that time. Long rebound, Angelus. EKU will settle here. Woods. Voss now with it. Once again, Casso, that's a travel call. I think Rose Casso forced it, Ben, a little bit.
Yeah, Casso coming on the closeout and trying to get going to get by her, which is the right move. You want to attack the closeout off the dribble, but got to get the ball down before the feet move. And a bucket there would have gone a long way for Eastern Kentucky.
Hatters lead by 8. Final stages.
Hey, Brian Kenny.
Carl, you see this email? Marketing wants us in on a commercial together.
Must be about how ESPN is now
The home of MLB.TV, all out-of-market games, live or on demand.
and all your favorite sports on ESPN
All
all
in
in
one
one
place.
place. You know, it does feel kind of great.
Am I being filmed right now?
Yeah, we are.
My agent's gonna kill me.
ESPN is now the home of MLB.TV. All out-of-market games, live or on demand, all in one place.
Hatters leading by 8 in a game where they have been in front throughout. It's a game that you know other teams in the conference are paying attention to. The Hatters with very slim chances of being the top seed in the tournament, Ben, but a few others very much still in contention with EKU, and they're paying attention when they're not playing their games right now. Sorrentino delivers. Promise Keshi spins, nails it! 19 points for Promise Keshi.
Not only has she set a career high, but close to getting her first 20-point game as well.
Vaz fouled on the way up. I think this will be on Keshi. Nope, it'll be Roscasso actually who's called for it. And that's all.
And you can see, yep, great call right in front of the official. Right arm clapping down at the ball right there onto the arm for the layup. Good.
And speaking of 20 points, that's where Vaz is right now. Josiana Vaz. And it is once again an 8-point lead. EKU with some pressure on the inbound. Cam Thomas having to come back to get it. Oh, losing the handle is Thomas. Angelis there once again for EKU. Misses off the glass. Keshi almost had herself a double-double. Wasn't able to corral it cleanly, Ben.
And right now, Stetson is in the danger zone. It feels like to me right now, they're not thriving, they're surviving. They were thriving most of this game. And right now, they're just trying to survive. Now up to 21 turnovers for a team that averages less than 14 a game. And it's almost every possession right now.
Woods with the wild shot. Promise Keshi picks it up. And I think that officially is her career high. We'll get confirmation as Thomas shoots him deep. Nope, Roscasso with the rebound. And I think it'll be Angelis called for the foul here as Casso had position.
You can see Casso just skying off for that rebound. And Angelis just coming in late. Really had a chance at getting forearm into the back. Even though Angelis is the one that ended up on the floor, definitely the right foul call.
Keshi will throw this in to Mary McMillan. 3 and change remaining in this one. Kick out, Casso. Yes! And Roscasso's 3 makes it official, Ben. Every senior on the Hatters squad has scored on senior day.
And that is a welcome sight for Roscasso. Was a great shooter her whole career and has been struggling this year. But 5 of her last 9 three-pointers are starting to go in. And if she starts returning the form from the three-point line going into conference tournament season, this Stetson Hatters team becomes that much more dangerous.
The Hatters are finding ways to win. Entering today with a 17-win, 9-loss record. Cam Thomas putting Kinley Woods on the floor, and the referees take exception to it. Third personal for Cam.
Just trying to set a screen on that play and a little bit too much contact. See, Casso does a great job of relocating. Sees her player moving to the ball to help, relocates to the wide open and sinks it.
Freihofer. Long. Off the rim, rebound, Mary McMillan. By the way, Keshi was not credited with a rebound earlier on, so she's still sitting at 9 and does not have a double-double officially yet. 2 minutes and change remaining for that to change. Bounce pass, Casso, off glass, gets it!
You work on Casso scoreless the whole game. She's an important piece of this offense to chip in when she needs to, and she's missed a couple of looks she normally doesn't.
Promise Keshi with a steal. She'll slow this down. Her second theft of the game. She's had herself a day. 19 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals.
And that steal, after that steal happened,
McMillan, she'll go to the line.
The clock is certainly not in EKU's favor. When Promise Keshi got that steal, I think I heard Fat Lady starting to warm up behind me, and she's about ready to start singing.
And you know, with this loss, if it does happen for EKU, that's news to the ears of Jacksonville Dolphins. Not to mention Central Arkansas and West Georgia, who are all pretty much playing each other right now as McMillan hits that one. Hatters now up 15. Jacksonville has the best chance to catch up to Eastern Kentucky, though. They're only 2 games back.
Instead, it's part of that Group 3 teams that is 3 back. But this Eastern Kentucky still has the game against Bellarmine, who's just having a season from...
you know what?
Yeah.
HE double hockey. Lindsay missing.
Eastern Kentucky with a timeout.
Yep,
there.
that is the call. It is a timeout EKU. All right, and let's take a look while we can, Ben, at some scores around the league. Let's highlight some of these key things we're looking at as we go down to leading FGCU. An EKU loss is big news for the Dolphins. West Georgia up over Central Arkansas. The winner of that one probably stays tied with Stetson for 3rd place.
Yeah, and if you're a Hatter, you all would like to see FGCU. Will come back on your other rival, Jacksonville. If you stay within loses, and you can, they still have another game where they can potentially pass. And as that Central Arkansas West of that will most likely be Stetson in that battle of 3rd place.
GCU and Jacksonville, final 2 opponents that season. EKU trying to get away by Sorrentino and the Hatters.
You hear that, Masad?
Yep. It sounds like a 3 on senior night.
I hear it.
Time out here. Lynn Bria, I see players come in. Yep, you're Sophie Locatelli's about to come in. Raven Lazander also looking to get their first minutes today. And Favor Aniele also coming in as well. The seniors getting the send-off there. Caniaso Sorrentino. There will be no career double-double promised Keshi tonight, Ben. But otherwise, if we were greats like
live stats update, 11 rebounds, so now high in points and the first career double-double in her 93rd match.
Indeed, I just got refreshed on my end too. So it is indeed a day for Promise Keshi in more ways than one. On senior day, a player who has progressed, who has steadily progressed in her career, Ben, always a strong defender. The offense has really shown up in her final season. As that one is blocked away, Aniele grabs it, Stetson. Dreesen up the court. As the Hatters have their second unit in. Botho in as well. She's in the corner. She gets it now, looking down low. Aniele. Spin move, poked away. EKU also bringing in some fresh legs off bench. Love Mays put that away. And looks like final touch. There's still a minute. Looks like it'll be Stetson. So EKU will roll out the final 20. Can officially celebrate this one. Turnover out of bounds. The 15th of the game for EKU. Stetson had 24 of their own, Ben. It's not going to matter as the Hatters get their 18th season.
Yeah, now Eastern Kentucky, the Hatter fan last 4 going towards the season. That's not a good. If any can get, I think it's a. And Stetson with a massive win on senior night. Kind of a warning shot bot said,